All right, it's showtime. J Mike live right now. Welcome, Kababayan, daily life in Metro Manila. It's 10:22 a.m. here in Rizal province, right next to the Metro Manila. Let's do a quick sound check. I don't even have it on. It's not even there. All right, it's all under control. Let's mute that. Okay, we're ready to go. Where is StreamYard? So let's see. Thank you for coming in, everybody. I just want to get back to talking and doing live streams. It's been a while. We did one the other couple days ago, so I want to keep going with that. Thanks for coming in. If you're logged in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and make a comment. Post comments, guys. That's what I want to see. I got to know you're here. So where was it? I was all talkable about 20 minutes ago, and then the mind went blank. I'm watching a couple of live streams from people I knew, people I joined YouTube with a few years ago, and they go live and they sit there and they wait and they wait and they're waiting for someone to come in and chat, and then they have snack food and they start eating. Well, if you're not highlighting the food, I don't know why you're doing that. So I don't know. They're trying to get noticed, I guess, or seen, or watch hours, or something like that. I don't know. Live streams don't make money unless you have a million viewers, which is rare. Um, I guess public events or politics or something gets a lot of views. People hate politics, but that's what gets a lot of views because politics runs your life. That's all there is to it. Let's see. I only spent a couple of minutes getting the live stream ready. I didn't make a lot of things to put up on screen, which is a mistake. They say it's a mistake, but I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. People know what they want to see. If it's interesting, they'll stick around. If not, they're just in and out. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So you see the beds behind me. It's not the bedroom. We're sleeping in the living room. My wife still can't get up the stairs. She did it once, but then she said, I don't want to go up again. She had back surgery, so life is different for us. It's all downhill from here, guys. When she'll watch this. When she sees it, she'll like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I'm just trying to be funny. But we do need help. We need your help. Thank you for doing that. Let's see. Comment engagement is what we need. Comments, views. First, we need viewers, then we need comments, and then we need people to stick around and subscribe. Subscribe. Thank you so much. I really need subscribers because I got a lot, but it goes up, 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 way up, and then you say to yourself, "Hey, we're getting subscribers," and then it slows down and comes to a stop because I'm not doing 5 shorts per day at the current time anyway. At least not now. Daniel Barry, thanks for stopping by. Thank you. There's one. Okay, we're getting started now. Don't go away. We're just getting started. He's gone. I don't know. At the beginning, it doesn't work. I don't think that counter works very good. Oh, maybe it does. I don't know. I can't trust it. Some people come in and out, in and out. You get like 3 views. One person will come in and out 2 or 3 times. You'll get 3 or 4 views, and then it will change because within 48 hours they audit every single little thing, and then it's like my view count changed. One time I got over 1,000 views, and I'm like, yeah, this is great, and then it ended up with like 976. Or even less. I forget the exact numbers. I forget. I start talking too fast. Do we want a banner? It's all different on this on StreamYard. There's changes now. You don't see the colored logo. You just see the little watermark. Let's see. Well, you don't want to hear that. What do you want to hear? Banners. You want to see banners. See, we can even do this.
Sorry, I don't understand.
And now, what the heck was that? I just heard Siri talking to me. Where? Where's Siri? She said, sorry, I don't understand. Oh, it's in my pocket. Siri's talking to me in my pocket. Imagine having a chick in your pocket. She's talking to me. Shh, don't let anyone know you're in my pocket. I gotta get rid of that other one there. We don't want that. Um, Thanks for coming. Use banners to summarize your talking points. What is my talking point? Welcome, Kababayan. Everyone's welcome. I don't know. I don't know where everyone went today. What is today? Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. June 30th. So June was a good month, right? It's over. As soon as June came in, it came out. It went out. You ever talk to Filipinos, right? They say to me, "Did you take your breakfast?" What? Americans don't say it that way. It's correct English, but it's not a correct way of speaking for Americans, at least on the East Coast. Did you take your breakfast? Well, I took it with me, but I didn't eat it. I had a little bag. My breakfast was in the bag. I took it for the ride, but I didn't eat. That's funny. Those are the funny things about being in a different place. The English is spoken here, but it's a funny. It's different. It's not. They don't say things the same way because they've been doing it for so long. Let me go back to where am I? Where am I? How do you like the yellow? Do you want that? We can change that. We can change it. I don't like blue, and I used to wear blue all the time, and I don't like it anymore. That's too bright. There we go. We'll do that. Green is not a primary color. I always think of that, primary colors here, because little children dominate the viewership on YouTube under the age of 18, under the age of 13, actually, or 14. They dominate and they watch things with primary colors blue, yellow, and red. It's unbelievable. It's like, I'll click, and if your thumbnail has this, they're more likely to click on it to see what's going on. I don't get it. It's obnoxious, but that's what they say. Do that. Mr. Beast does it all the time. He's got, last time I checked, which was quite a while ago, it's probably more than 12. 12 people employed to work on thumbnails. That's unbelievable. So it's the YouTube channel is Mr. Beast and a few others, but Mr. Beast predominantly is the YouTube guy. Get away from some of that light. Oops, it slipped off. I got mounts for my, and the stuff that's glued on is falling apart. I don't know. I like that vase in the corner though. That's our second largest vase. What am I don't know what I'm doing here. I didn't make any. I could, but I could use old ones, I guess, right? But it might not work. What I want to say, there's a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes happening here in the Philippines. A lot. And from what I understand, now I'm not a seismologist or anything like that, but what I understand is there is an uptick around the world in volcanoes and earthquakes. That is true. It's written. It's written thousands of years ago. It's been written about what's happening now, exactly to the letter. And people don't see it. They don't want to see it. And we got to get rid of that. That banner. All right. They have a generic banner. There's another one. Unbelievable. I'm feeling myself. They still have the private chat here. All the little clicky buttons are different a little bit. They're moved around. I don't know. But where is everybody? They tell now ChatGPT tells me that the ideal time to come on is 7 p.m. That's when everyone else is live. I can't do that. It's like they'll all be over at Debbie's live stream. I just went blank. This is crazy, but I'm trying to keep the talk going. I should have had notes, and I could have had notes. What's on your mind today? I don't understand that. I'm looking up replacement theology, but I guess I didn't really dig into it very much. I'm looking at my list of things. What I do with mostly with Chat GPT, is I ask it to give me words and language for videos and live streams, whatever type of video I'm making. What would be a good title for my live stream? I didn't do it today. I just took it off of something else I was doing. I'm focusing mainly on jeepney videos and walking. I'm on a walking tour, looking at some traffic. I focus on jeepneys and I try to get a good look at them. And when possible, I try to identify them. But it's hard because it's hard to read those signs. It's like artistic lettering and stuff like that, and they're reflective. So a lot of them are reflective. So from the angle I'm looking at, it's hard to see them until you get just the right look at it. And then there's a flap on the back with another name. And then they have, I don't know if they're decals or stickers or whatever it is, the artwork on the jeepneys. It's fun to look at, but it's not always easy to read because it's fancy lettering or artistic lettering and stuff like that. So it's just so difficult. But that's daily life in Metro Manila. You're gonna see jeepneys all the time, tricycles. If you get in the center of towns where it's tighter and the roads are smaller and there's no parking, almost no parking, except for delivery trucks and the taxi. The Filipino taxi is the tricycle, the small motorcycle with the sidecar attached, and they're very cheap. It's a good way to get it. I use them when I want to stay in town and go like maybe to a dentist or something, or a specific thing I need in town and near the center of town. I'll take a tricycle. So we do that a lot, even though we have a car. But if we want to do major shopping or something like that and go over to Tai or wherever, sometimes we shop in Antipolo. Sometimes we go all the way over to Pasig. But not all the time, but because this traffic is a major issue in the Philippines. And it's not partly because there's a lot of people and a lot of vehicles, but also because of the road structure. There's not a lot of choices for, if I'm going to, say, Santa Lucia in Pasig, there's only one way to go. And maybe two ways, but the other way would take me a little bit out of the way. So it would take me up towards Antipolo, and then I would have to go across. So it would just take longer, actually, I think, because there's no. If it's traffic time, there's no let up. We were coming home on it was a Friday night, and I thought, okay, so let's wait around here. I forget if we were in Pasig or Quezon, somewhere around there. And I thought, it doesn't matter if we leave. The later we leave, the easier traffic will be. And that didn't turn out to be correct. We left close to 11, and traffic was just as heavy as I've ever seen it. We stayed at one red light for 20 minutes. I mean, we were inching along and moving. We would inch along like 3 or 4 vehicle lengths and then stop. And then wait 2 minutes, 3 or 4 vehicle lengths, stop. It took 20 minutes to get through. It seemed like an hour. When you want to get home, every minute seems like 5 or 10 minutes. And that's what was happening. Unbelievable. But that was a Friday night. Maybe on a Tuesday night it would have been different. I don't know. We're not out that late. We don't go too far away late at night anyway. So I forget where we were. It might have been Santa Mesa or something. Or Marikina, that's where it was. From where I am in Rizal, Marikina is a little bit further than Santa Lucia and the shopping center, which is in Santa Lucia, Pasig. I think there's a Robinsons over there and kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff everywhere. It's unbelievable here in the Philippines. So, but back in America, nobody asks how what's the Philippines like. They don't care. They just think when they Google it, it just says third world country, and then they stop, and then you live in a third world country. Ew, that's so stupid. You're in danger. That's what they say to me. They never say, how's your wife? What's she like? Why can't we talk to her? They don't give a darn. I gotta say it. There is a lack of love. I forget how the phrase goes. I don't want to quote the Bible at the moment, but love for many, love will grow cold. That's what's been written, and it's true. Even my own family, there's no more love. I get it maybe a little bit from my mother. That's it. My mother, bless her heart, is 90 years old. 90! She turned 90. I never thought I would see that. Or anybody else in the family. So, most of my family is not friends with me on Facebook. They don't give me that. Some of my cousins, a couple of my cousins are friends, but it's not like we talk every day. So, it's funny that way. There was two sets of cousins that their mothers and my mother were sisters, so they lived with us. Sometimes we shared because we had a big house one time. So they lived with us for a little while. And but for kids that's a lot of memories. It's everything. So that's why we're kind of close to now the kids my age were closer because the other ones were just babies, so they don't remember much. But then we had some interactions. My cousin's sister babysat for us for a year or so, so she's a little bit closer to us. And then I have another cousin that lived with us for a while. She's a female. She was a youngster when I was like 14 and she was 2. So, but she remembers us. So there's a little bit of a link there, but that's it. And her mother's kind. So my mother's had there were 14 kids from my grandmother, and my mother was one of 14. And they're all gone except the youngest girls. My mother's one of the youngest. But she has a younger brother that already passed away, I think. So, I think that's the only one, but all the others are gone now. So, and they're not, they don't have my last name. That they're not the Mikes. So, I had no idea what I was going to talk about. These are just thoughts that are popping up and coming out. So, as far as the Philippines is concerned, there's no talk about end times, but I'm studying end times as they are written. And people say, oh, that's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. They don't understand that things were written to people that had different ways of saying things 2,000 years ago. But when you study it, like scholars, you need a study group. You need people that understand Greek and Hebrew, especially the Greek, because that's what talks about the end times. And it makes more sense. And the things that are happening make perfect sense. One of the books says they describe today's society exactly. Exactly. The love of many will grow cold. Everyone in my family is cold, except my brother and his wife that have been in the Philippines. They were here for a while. a few years. They got married here. I was best man. Um, they're believers, so they know what I'm going through. But they're also busy with. They have kids and work and stuff like that, and bills to pay. The strange thing, and I don't want to say funny, it's peculiar, and it's very mind-boggling how Americans just spend so much money to have so little. Now, it's said that they have the most material, but material things aren't gifts from God. I mean, you can pray to God and say, God, I can't seem to get through this issue here. It's technological, and it doesn't make sense because I'm not an IT guru, but I was a hotel controller for a quarter century. So we had computers on our desks, and we were doing things, learning programs and stuff like that. And when we had an IT problem, I would be the point man to work with corporate IT. And one time I loaded in a program and got it running, and they said, "You were supposed to wait to talk to us to walk you through it. How did you do that?" I said, "Well, I do little stuff like this all the time, and I didn't make any changes. I just put it up and it works." They said, "Oh, well, okay, I guess that's a good thing." But I'm not sure of everything. A lot of times it's trial and error, but you don't want to make a fatal error. I said, "Yeah, I know that. I know enough not to screw things up too badly. But anyway, it works." So, what was I going to say about that? Those are the gifts from God. The gift to be able to get through something that you wouldn't normally know, which is nothing, by the way. Uh, the other gift from God is the gift of discernment, to know when you're being deceived or not. How do I know? How will we know if we're being deceived or not? Billions of people have no idea about that. And they just go along supporting, the lying thieves. And then they'll say, "Well, you're the lying thief. You're stupid." And I'm like, okay, where do you get that? So it's going back and forth. If there are only two people in the world and what they're calling each other a lying thief, nobody will know the difference. They don't know. They don't know. So I came up with a surefire thing. The Lord said, "You will know by their fruits." What do they do and produce? Lying BS. They believe that something that's not true is true, and then they'll fight for it. They'll go to their grave saying it's the truth or thinking that it's the truth. It's unbelievable. The world is dominated by those people. In the end, they're going to kill us, and they're going to go to the end, but they'll all burn. They're all going to burn. They're all going to burn or die from bad water or whatever. Who would drink bad water? That's like trying to get drunk off of rubbing alcohol. It'll just make you sick and kill you. You can't even swallow it. It's unbelievable. There are those people, though, that will try to drink rubbing alcohol. "Oh, I got this container of rubbing alcohol." Better than nothing. Blah! Then they'll try to drink. That's when they lose it. They'll do that when they lose it. So, I don't know. I I knew for a while I had to change the strings on my guitar, and My other guitar was out of service because of the same problem, but I had a broken string. So I just put it aside and I played my old guitar. And I overplayed it, and then finally it wouldn't like tune up perfectly. And I thought, okay, time to change this. And then I finally broke a string. So I said, well, it's time anyway to change the strings. When I first started doing that, I would buy a set of strings and then just use one string. And then I would put it on, it would break. I'd get another set of strings, use one string. So I had all these packages of guitar strings missing the one string, the skinny, thin E string. And I'm like, because I was trying to learn how to do it. So finally I realized I had to change all the strings and use the whole thing. Because the fret strings, they go out of tune also. They don't stay in tune forever. Now you can tune up, right? But after a while, they don't sound right. So you got to change them. So I restrung my old guitar, which is a kind of a beautiful Telecaster, the yellow one, if you've seen it, the golden one, and I had it perfect. And I realized, wait a minute, the A string won't, the key won't tighten the string. What the heck? They had the A string on, but it wouldn't tighten, so I couldn't tune it. I'm like, what the heck? So I took the key out in the post that we curl the string up on the head of the neck. I took the key out and I'm like, oh, here's the problem. So I took it apart and it was gunk in there. All kinds of dust was like solid. It was solid gunky dust. So I got a toothpick and I said, oh, it's all clean now. This looks great. And I tried to put it back in. I couldn't do it. I needed the help of the Lord. So I said, it doesn't make sense, but now I don't have an A key. I can't play with just four strings. So I got the old guitar. I took all the strings, got them all the new strings on the guitar, but there was one of them I couldn't tune it. So I took all the strings off and put it on the other guitar. So now I'm back. Now it's my newer guitar, but that's 5 years old now, almost 5 years old, 4.5 years old. So that's the name of that tune. So the butterscotch colored guitar is now out of service. That's okay because I used to love my. I had it was a copy of a Gibson Les Paul, but it wasn't a Gibson, but it looked just like it. And it had real. My mind just went blank. It had real humbucker pickups on it, so it sounded good. And I loved playing it. It was a good sounding guitar, but I gave it to my brother. So, Ted, if you're watching, don't say I never gave you anything. I give him everything. I give him everything I didn't want. The DJ sound system, all the records. There were CDs, there were tapes, there were 45s, and there were 16 inchers. And turntables, all that stuff. Power amp. The big speakers were gone. I gave them some little Advent speakers, which they're okay, but they were old. They were like 40 years old, 45 now. So, but the bigger stage speakers I sold to somebody else for almost nothing. They wanted it, so I wasn't using them. So I gave it to them. I said, "Well, I'm not gonna do another mobile." So it didn't make sense just to keep them around. So I gave them. Norma's here. Good morning, Norma. Don't do the playback. I forgot what I said, but it wasn't good. I didn't curse, though. If I curse, let me know. So Norma says, stop cursing. When I think of people who don't please me or the Lord, I start to curse. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess it grieves the Lord if you curse. So I do know I am aware of what grieves the Lord, and I'm sure that pleases him. to some point. I guess there's not a lot of people looking for things to watch at the moment. That's what it is. Or they know I'm here and they don't like me. That happens too. I said to my brother Ted, my younger brother Ted, the the um, the one who got married in the Philippines. They're living in America now. I said, every time I mention my faith, people hate me to the point where they start mocking me, and then they tell me that I'm not really faithful, that that's fake. That's how you know who the lying thieves are. Because no pastor or minister or priest will say that to you if you tell them that you're trying to learn who God is. I said to someone, you may believe that you're a Christian, but you don't know who God is and you're not trying to find out. Oh, you're not really faithful. That's all fake. You're a lousy person. And that's my own daughter. Oh, I didn't stick around to be their babysitter and their ATM machine when they had problems, so therefore they hate me. It's more than that, though. It's definitely more than that. On her Facebook page, it says, Christian. That's the first thing. It's like, no, you're not trying to find out who God is. That's a fake Christian. There's millions, maybe even billions of fake Christians. Because they want people to think that they're good. I'm a good person. I never murdered it. Thou shalt not kill is like either the sixth or seventh commandment. Why are there 6 other commandments ahead of it? You can be forgiven for murder. Not likely, but you can be forgiven for that. Because it's not the unforgivable sin. The unforgivable sin is the disbelief in the first commandment. I struggle with that. It's not that I didn't want to disbelieve it. I just wanted to understand it. And I was asking for discernment and understanding. I was praying to understand that first commandment. And now I understand it to some degree. And even still, I'm still trying to understand it even more. So it's not just like, I'm a Christian, therefore, the magic is there and you're all transformed by the Holy Spirit into Christianity. It doesn't work that way. The Holy Spirit, good morning. Thanks for stopping in, Eileen. Thank you so much. Our closest relatives right there. So Eileen, her husband Edward, and their 2 kids, Edrix and Elaine. They're not here. We missed them. It's funny how that works. It's not that I don't miss my family. I never said I don't miss my family. I just said they don't understand discernment or who the Holy Spirit is. And it doesn't just pop in like you get baptized now. Here's the Holy Spirit. You're all set. It doesn't work that way. And they don't understand it. They think I'm being a jerk and that I'm offending them because I tell them it doesn't work that way. It's good that you're trying to learn Christianity. It's a learning process. You don't just understand all that right away. If people receive Bibles for free, and then they say, well, I have a problem with this verse, so therefore it isn't true. That's ridiculous because it comes from translations. And sometimes a word that's used, 1,000 years ago isn't the exact, it's a close word, but it isn't exact. And that's part of the problem. Well, God commanded Abraham to kill his own kid, so therefore the Bible's not true. It's bullshit. And everyone says that. And they all say the same thing because that's what they're told. One of my brothers, I don't know if he's saved, one of my other brothers said, I only know what I'm told. Yeah, are you being told the right things? Are you being told to steal credit cards? I always wondered maybe they're watching one of these and they don't want me to know because not people watching, not everybody's commenting or clicking like. So you better listen to that for sure. You're not you're not talking to the right people. You're not going to do good. That's the other thing. If you hang out with the wrong people, you're going to become the wrong type of person. Good is destroyed by evil. You need strength of knowledge and discernment. They ganged up on me right here in my live stream because I had them up on the panel, and they were like, "No, Jay, it doesn't work that way." Yeah, it does. I'll blow you out of the water right now. I just got to ask you like one or two questions, and then I'll get you. And it's not to hurt you or offend you. It's to set you straight, to help you. It's to help you. They don't see it. They don't want to see it, and then there's no agreeing and there's no understanding between the two of you. And that's how you know. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, but you know it. You feel it. You feel it, and it's not good. It's like when I talk to some of my family, and I don't talk to them anymore. You know, father wants to keep talking to his daughters. They're grown up. They're big people now. They don't need me to change their diapers or bring them places. You know, I took my girls skating every week for 15 years, and they don't appreciate it. They were never with their mother except when they needed to go to a doctor visit. And then after their mother passed away, they miss her, they love her, and they don't want anything to do with me because I came here. You don't do it. And then we have, you know, relatives, in-laws and stuff like that. He's not doing his job. You're not doing your job. Your job is to be responsible for your children and grandchildren. Until when? Until I die? My life was being nailed to the wall at my house. There was nothing but stress. They didn't see it that way. When my daughter, when the house was empty and I'm there, all I could think about was when they get back home, there'll be stress. So all day when they're not there, I'm thinking they'll be stressed, they'll be stressed, they'll be stressed. Ah! It's a stressful life. Ah! I should take a picture of that and use it as my thumbnail. It's a stressful life. Ah! If you play children's games, you'll be stressed out. Ah! And YouTube blocks or downgrades videos that they don't like. No, that's not a kid's video. It's anti-kid. We can't have that. We can't have it. Almost no one in America teaches their kids to have respect for elders or love of the Lord. They don't. I've been wondering about that here in the Philippines, and I realize that almost all Filipinos love the Lord and are godly people. But in America, don't preach to me, Jerry. I have my own religion. There's many paths to heaven. Yay! Ah! All right. Don't even give me that. Oprah's a big one on that. That's well known. Many paths to heaven. She's a child predator. She helps people spend money and get children away from their parents. They've probably done it. We only know of one set of instances for sure, but nothing happens because the deep state is running the whole planet. The whole planet is being run by lying thieves, and they're gonna steal your money. Every time even here in the Philippines, I buy stuff and then it doesn't work or it breaks or it's not good enough. I'm like, really? All the time. How can I buy WD-40 and then it doesn't spray? That's expensive. Even the small little can, it's like $5. It didn't spray. I had to buy another one. I had to buy a toothbrush, electric toothbrush. When the first battery wore out, it wouldn't work anymore. I put in new battery after new battery, it wouldn't work. It's like wasted money. Happens all the time. That's how they get your money. It's one of the ways they get your money. The other one is the perception of value. The perception people Americans just spend all this money for the perception of value. You don't even get something to put in your pocket. And they're like proud of it. I have my health care. I'm all set. And then Norma's bringing to my attention the people who were living in Texas, and they were like selling fake life and health insurance and accident insurance. And they made billions. Who do we have here? We have Tokisaki Karumi. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Please, if you're logged in, you're logged in because you made a comment. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Put that banner up there. Thanks for coming. Please click like. That's the least you could do. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Oh, we'll see. I don't know what to do today because we don't have. I used to say, well, we're going to log out now, and then I would get an uptick in viewers. I don't know why. Show everybody the end of my live stream. We're 42 minutes into this thing. I'm going to give you a quick break. Wait a minute. I want to do a banner. Be right back. Be right back. I could play a soundtrack, I guess. Let's see. It's different. That's taking longer because there's all these little changes. All right, let's see if I can do that. Be right back. Well, give me like 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back. All right, thanks for waiting, guys. If you're still here, thank you so much. I drank loads of liquid this morning. I didn't stop drinking water and coffee, I said to Norma, no, and soup filled with water. Noodles, ramen. So I knew I was going to have to go take a break. Let's get rid of that. All right. So where were we? It is written. People don't see it. They see nothing. It's like that. There was a TV show, Hogan's Heroes, a story about World War II when the Americans had an unknowing. He was kind of not a bright guy. He wasn't able to. He wasn't a tough commander, and but they made him look like he never had anyone escape. That he was a strong leader. And they kept him there because of that. But they were getting people to safety through a tunnel system. And the guy was like, I know nothing. There was a sergeant, and he was kind of stupid too. But the prisoners made them look great because they didn't know what was going on. And he would always go, he would see something and he would go, Huh? I know nothing. He didn't want to get shot. He was a sergeant because Germans were shooting everybody. That doesn't even mention the friggin' door-to-door guillotines. Does anyone know that the Germans sent people in black suits and hats with a guillotine? They wouldn't let anyone see the guillotine, and they would bring it out. And it was just a simple little thing. They didn't. Nobody knew what it was. And they would say, "Can you step outside, sir? We need to talk to you." And in Germany, if they did that, if they came to your door, you would have to do what they say. Back in those days, and they would step outside, yes, and they would like push them down on the guillotine, strap them in real quick, and it's like, "What are you doing?" And then they would go in, and their head would be gone. It was like 3 seconds. There was like a quick struggle, and then oops, they're gone, and then the head would be chopped off. They did that. They did over 60,000 of them, from the count that I understand to be true. Len Whistler's here. Thanks for stopping in, Len. Where's my clock? Oh, thank you. Anyway, oh, it's hiding. I get everything on auto hide now. 11. Okay. Thanks, Len, for stopping in. Good to see you. So, people don't realize that. Everyone thinks they know everything. There's 2,000 years ago, it was written that there would be more knowledge, like more knowledge among everybody. People would have more knowledge, access to more knowledge, or something like that. I forget exactly how it was worded. The translations, there's so many different ones anyway, so that's basically what it was. There would be an increase in knowledge, and everybody has knowledge on their iPhones, access to information on their iPhones, but they don't know anything. Because they don't know what's true and what isn't true. And they don't, the breaking of the first commandment is the unforgivable sin, the first. And nobody understands it, almost nobody. Even believers don't understand it. It took me a long time to, because I wasn't really, I was looking at it going, I don't understand that. Why is that? I didn't disagree with it, but I just didn't understand it. It took me a long time to realize why. And then in the second command, they go in the order they go in for a reason. But I couldn't discern that. I couldn't do it. And people think they're smart because they don't understand something, therefore they think they're smart. I had a prescription drug book years ago when I was in my first marriage, and it was 1,000 pages. Everything about prescription drugs that you need to know. It was a book for doctors. How drugs work, how they affect the body, and how they work with other drugs in conjunction with other drugs. Like you can't mix these two drugs, but you can mix those two drugs, stuff like that. And I say to people, because I had that book, do you think that makes me a doctor? Of course not. So why do you think you looked at the Bible and it makes you a theologian? That's not true. Of course not. You need to study it with people who understand it. And people who understand it disagree on things. They have to agree to understand what's important. And that's where most people get lost. Now, you don't have to be able to know when the rapture is coming to be a good Christian or a good believer. But you can't blow people off just because they don't see it the same way. You just can't. So anyway, the Bible said, oh, that the question was asked by the apostles, the disciples, how will we know when the end of the age is coming? You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, and there'll be an increase in volcanoes and earthquakes. Volcanoes and earthquakes are the connection to the inside of the earth where there's fire and hotness, which is going to burn everybody. We're seeing now that there's a meteor coming. That's wormwood. It's all written. We know it's true. We know it's true because the first 700 prophecies have already come true. There's only a little more than 700 prophecies, so they're almost all true. The only ones that haven't come true yet are the end time prophecies. So, what's to believe that those aren't also going to become true? It would behoove you to realize that they're all going to be true. It's all true. But it doesn't get anyone off their off of the track of what they're doing because they love it. This is too good. I can't stop this. Therefore, God, this is too good. I can't stop what I love. Therefore, God isn't true. There's no God. That's what people say to me. I have the most people. The people mocking me the most are my relatives. It's the love of many will grow cold. There's like no love. All I do is kick my ass, and then I think I'm stupid because I don't really say too much, other than you're gonna be sorry. You're gonna be sorry. Change it now before it's too late. They don't want to hear it. My brother says the same thing happens to me too. He's been in this a little longer than me. When I was a child, before I could even argue or explain things, I knew that there was someone or something or more than one thing that was watching out for my safety. I couldn't explain it, but I knew it was there. And then when I was 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, we would go to Sunday school for children and learn a little bit about the Lord. But then as I got into my teens, I had a falling away, so there was none of that anymore. So, but then when I was 16, right next to where we hung out was a little church. I don't know if it was Baptist or what, but it was a Christian church. And the lady said, "Come on in. I got cookies and Kool-Aid and stuff. Come on in." She talked to it, and she ended up baptizing us because we weren't evil. We were good kids, but she just thought, yeah, but when kids are by themselves, they get into bad things. And that's true. Bad influences will corrupt people with good intentions every time. So she baptized us and said, "You guys are saved now." But then when I got older, much older, I ended up getting baptized again. So to confirm my beliefs. And that's the name of that tune. It strengthens my faith. Everyone in my family has said this. "You're not really faithful. It's fake." They've all said it. And I don't even talk to them. What are they talking about? I worry about them, right? And then they tell me, "You're not faithful. You're fake." Where does that come from? I'm not sure where to say that. Lord, help me figure out where that comes from. Lord, the Lord has helped me figure out things I could not find an answer for myself. Has helped me to figure things out. Even when I was doing video chats with my wife before we met during the travel ban, I said, "Hun, there's a way, but I can't find it on the internet. I've been looking for days." We started praying, "Lord, figure out, help us find what we're looking for." And then within a day or two, bam, honey, there it is. I don't know why I couldn't find it. It seems like I got a mosquito here. What the heck? It seems like I found it in the same place I was looking, and I couldn't find it. It was weird. Uh, but anyway, the Lord works in mysterious ways. People don't understand that. They don't understand it. So, and they certainly don't want to hear it. It's one of the reasons they don't understand it, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to. They think they're smarter than the Lord. There's no way Jay and Mike can be smart at all, because we're the ones who are smart. Are you smarter than my oldest daughter, Addie? Oh, no, Addie's got it going on. I said, where do you think she gets her brains? I'll wait. Kids get their knowledge mostly from their parents, especially kids that are with their parents all the time. It's kind of unbelievable where they get the things that they say and think of. But I wasn't a perfect parent. I wasn't always following the word of God the way I should have. I admit that, and I ask the Lord every day, please help them to see the truth, Lord. They deserve to be saved, or I want them to be saved. They don't know. Even when I tell them I'm praying for them, they don't realize it. They don't see it. I said to one of my nieces, I'll still pray for you. No, that's not necessary. I don't believe there's a God. I had one question for her after that. Where do you think you came from? No answer. No answer, no conversation. Where do you think, if there's no God, where do you think you come from? Where do you think DNA comes from? It's not an accident. It's a highly designed thing that we can't understand. Our top knowledge scientists can't understand it. Because not everything comes from science. When you put math in a computer and you perform certain tasks, it's unbelievable what happens, what you see. I should put that on screen just to give you an idea of that. I wasn't going to do this. What's the name of it? If I can find it here. Oh, is it him? Wait lang po. where's the end of that? Wait, I'm not understanding how to get here. Wait lang po. Wait lang po.
and information about those numbers and the ways numbers connect to each other. But where do we find all this math? We can't see math, we can't touch math, we can't taste math. Math is only in the mind. We find it simply by thinking about it and figuring more and more things out. But wait, math also
This
explains
isn't the
things.
exact
And
video,
math can
but
explain everything
I think
from
this will
simple
explain it.
counting to the movement of planets. For anything you can think of, there's a bunch of math that explains what's going on, even down to the atomic level. So, if math is only in our minds, but it also explains the natural world, then where does it come from? There's two possibilities, really. One is that math is just something we invented to explain what we observe in the natural world, and that would mean the origin of math is natural. But the other possibility is that math is already there because it controls the universe, and we've discovered it. And if that's true, then the origin of math is supernatural. Here's why the latter option is correct. Math contains infinite information. There's an infinite number of numbers, each with their own individual properties, and there's an infinite number of numbers in between any two numbers. And we keep discovering things. Pi, which is the number that explains the area of a circle, has an infinite number of digits that we keep discovering by doing calculations. If we were just making this stuff up, we could make pi be whatever we want it to be, but we can't do that because we know that that's not true. We know that all this information is out there somewhere, but it can't be in our physical universe because our universe is finite and math is infinite. That means math contains every possible combination of numbers, and if we use numbers as code for letters, then math contains every possible combination of letters as well. That means every book that has ever been written already exists encoded in math somewhere. In fact, every book that possibly could be written already exists in math. And if we use numbers as code for particles and their locations, then you could say there's an exact copy of our universe encoded in math. But there's also more stuff in math. So that's why math can't possibly be contained just within our universe. But that's just the beginning. There's many pieces of evidence in math to show that math has a designer. Here's an example. One time someone discovered that this simple equation makes a very interesting shape when you graph it in the complex plane, and this is called the Mandelbrot set. But people have analyzed this shape and have found some very scary things about it. What's amazing about the Mandelbrot set is that you can zoom in infinitely and you'll keep finding new things. Over here, you can keep finding more and more copies of the Mandelbrot set no matter how far you zoom in. You could even zoom in really close to something like this, and it takes a while, but look, there's another little baby Mandelbrot set. Alternatively, you could go into this region and find completely different things. On the left side of this thing, you'll find these weird elephant-shaped things that have spirals that go on forever, and you could even zoom into the side of one of the spirals and find new spirals that repeat infinitely and keep generating new infinite patterns like this. Or you could go on the other side of the elephants and find these weird seahorse-shaped things that have different kinds of spirals that are connected to each other, and once again, they keep going on forever. You can zoom in infinitely, and you'll keep finding new patterns, but like I said, it's a different type of pattern. Seriously, anytime you explore the Mandelbrot set, you can find brand new things, possibly things that no human has ever seen before, because like I said, there is infinite complexity and infinite information in this one shape. That's why this little shape is so scary. We did not invent this because we discovered it by accident, but we did not discover it in our universe. It has infinite complexity, so it can't possibly be in our universe because the universe doesn't have infinites. We discovered it just by calculating it. So where the heck did this thing come from? Basic common sense says that someone designed this, but no human designed it. Like we said, math only exists in the mind, so its origin must also be a mind. Math contains infinite information, so this mind must be all-knowing. Math controls the universe, so this mind must also be all-powerful. And math is beyond and outside of our natural world, so this mind must be supernatural. And we have just described God. All these numbers and mathematical facts exist in the infinite mind of God. But it's not just mathematical truth that exists in the mind of God, but also moral truth and any kind of truth at all. Goodness, truth, and beauty are just mere opinions of the human mind, unless there is a supreme mind, God, who overrules all human opinions. Because math is beyond time, space, and limits, the existence of math proves the existence of God because math is in the mind of God. As the great scientist Galileo said, math is the language with which God has written the universe.
I have a power meter here, the same one Japanese inspectors use. When I plug it into a normal British
So that's proof of God. But I also say, John, what's up? How you doing? It's proof of God. It's not just that though. That's one way of doing it, but it's not. That's not the only thing. How do you prove your conscience when you're convicted of doing something wrong? You get that feeling that just covers your whole being that you've done something wrong and you're going to get caught, or that you're already caught. They just didn't tell you yet. Or love. How do you explain love? People have been trying to create something that would live out of chemicals and electricity, and they've never been successful. If they did, it wouldn't survive. It wouldn't know how to survive. How do you have the instinct to survive and keep your you don't want to die? How is that inside you that you want to live? You know you can't let yourself die. You have the instinct, the will to live, or the will to love. Or when you do something terribly wrong, you feel it. Where does that come from? Those are things you can't see or measure. People say, well, if I don't see it or and I can't measure it, then it's not true. That's such BS. That's people that don't think things through. Just as you saw a minute or two ago, the Mandelbrot set. We accidentally discovered that. We didn't invent it, we discovered it. Where it's infinite. If you keep zooming in, you keep seeing all these things. It's unbelievable. That's not the original video. They used it as an example. So I would have to look for that to find it. But it is fascinating to see that, how that works. The Mandelbrot set, you can find it. It's I think it's Jason Lyle. So anyway, that's that. We've been live here for over an hour. I don't know how much longer. I didn't write any script for this. I didn't even make an outline. The YouTube training advice is to, when you go live, make sure you know what you're going to your talking points. Make sure your audio is working and you have a good video, stuff like that, and plenty of light in the room. Oh, and I skipped that because we've done like 1,000 live streams. PhD Martha Stout says 1 in 25 Americans have no conscience. Well, those would be the extreme psychopaths. They don't have a guilty conscience, but they still have a conscience. And what they do is they burn it when they're younger. I don't think it doesn't exist. Good morning, fellow Drifter Philippines. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. July 4th is coming. June is gone. June is gone. Where did it go? Today's the 30th. So today is the last. Say goodbye to June. Today's June 30th. Americans are always looking forward to summer because they're sick and tired of winter, especially the ones north of the Mason-Dixon line. All they get is snow and cold and wind and rain and ice. And, in March and April, it's no longer, first day of spring is in March, and then April, even the beginning of May. It's like springtime, but they still get freezing weather. They're like, okay, it's March 26th, and today it's 86 degrees. It's awesome. New England is awesome. And then the next day it's back down to 46 degrees. A 40-degree drop Fahrenheit. There's nothing to laugh about. Nothing. Minnesota, lots of same thing. Yeah, Minnesota, New England, all these places. Jay's here. Jay, come over. We miss you. Maambon na umaga po sa lahat. Keep safe, everyone. Stop by today, Jay. We will have fun. Norma misses you. We're bored. I'm bored. We went over to Tai Tai yesterday, and we took our housemaid with us. And we got something to eat first. We went to the food court, and we had some food. She couldn't finish it all. And then we went shopping. And then on the way home, and it was pouring rain. It was a deluge of rain. It was flooding everywhere. And I went, it normally doesn't flood in Tai Tai. But the streets were flooded. And like Norma was like whacking me, saying, don't drive that way into the water. I said, there's water everywhere. So we're arguing about that. It's like, we're driving in a flooded rain. There's no way around it. So anyway, when we get out done with shopping, like 2 hours later, we come out and there's not only did it stop raining, but there was no water anywhere. Everything was dry. It was like it never rained. It was unbelievable. That's welcome to the Philippines, guys. Welcome to the Philippines. But anyway, we had a good time. She had never seen that. It's called SM City in Tai Tai. Tai Tai is the next town from where we live in Angono, in Rizal. Not far from Metro Manila. It's just a little drive. We can go there at any time. But she had never been there. It's like awesome. It is like a little city because it's 2 buildings, one on each side of the highway. You got to go up. You can park on both sides, but we park on one side and we go up and we do the walk across where you can look out, and then you get to the other building. There's all kinds of shopping and restaurants. It's fun and good air conditioning. I've never been there when it wasn't working, so it's good. And there's like lots of people there. People go there just to cool off. But you got to buy something because there's so much to buy. And the food is cheap. It's not bad. It's good. It's a good day out. So in the audience here, I don't know if she's still here, but there's right there. Keep safe, everyone. We're okay. It's rainy season. We're just in the beginning of rainy season, so we can get some heavy rains. Stop by, Jay. We can have fun today. That's a person we have met many times. She actually introduced me to my wife, so many thanks to her. It worked out. She says, I think you'll like her. Okay, we'll find out. It's all good. It is all a blessing from above. Thank you, Lord, for Norma and Jay. Thank you for the people who love me. I can't say the same for my children because they're ungodly. We're praying that they can see what the Lord has to show them and they can become godly, but I can only chalk it up to ignorance. My hometown high school, Newtown, North Dakota, has 30 plus Philippine school teachers. OFWs, offshore Filipino workers. There's a program here that will help you leave the country with work. I don't know if they help you find work, but I suppose they can help you find places that have work, and then I don't know exactly how it works, but they keep track of everybody that's doing that and that's leaving the country. I guess you have to go through them, but it's for your own good. I wouldn't recommend going around that. They have a strong will to help the Filipino citizens. So with that, give me a second. I'm gonna go over and see what Norma's talking about. I'll be right back. Thank you for waiting. That's the other thing about be right back. That's the other thing. Tell people you're live and then they don't come in. So my oldest son is 30, married a Philippine nurse in New York City. Wow, nice. Get over here, everyone. There's a lot of connection. For some reason, we have a Southeast Asia community. A lot of them are over in Thailand, and they all meet with each other. They all live around each other. Now, I know. I think it's Bangkok. There's a couple of other cities too. I forget all the cities, but there's a large expat community. English speaking English, and they all meet with each other all the time. It's almost like they hang out together. It's like, really? I'm 69. I didn't come here to be around other Westerners. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a highly intellectual English conversation, which I don't get from Filipinos. They're all wonderful and nice, and smart, but they don't get into the intellectual conversations. If I mention faith, they don't disagree with me. They agree with faith. They are believers in God. They know that God is the Lord Creator, Lord and Creator and Savior. They know that. So, but other than that, it's not. Their English is like they have to. Some things they say in English, but you never know when that's going to pop out. So if they were just to speak pure English, it would be a nosebleed. I guess that's what they call it. But when I'm just talking, they don't process the way I'm accenting everything with the way I sound in my accent. That's the other thing. Like a Filipino will say, "Did you take your lunch?" Instead of "Did you eat lunch?" They'll say, "Did you take your lunch?" So it's just funny things like that. No, or we'll get rice because rice is served for every meal. They cook rice from 5:30 in the morning until like 7:30 at night. They're cooking rice. So we were having people living here for a while, just staying here. So like 5 or 6 people were staying here for months, and we kept running out of rice. I would buy 20 kilos of rice, and then we would just run out. I'm like, honey, I just bought a truckload of rice. Where did it go? We gotta buy more. So, oh gosh, I can't afford to buy 20 kilos of rice every fucking 3 weeks. Did I just curse? It drives you to use bad language. Sorry, Jay. I wanted Norma to send a chat over to Jay and say, "Get your little skinny butt over here." She doesn't live too far away, but it's a drive. We gotta drive over there. I should tell Norma. Norma, let's go get Jay. Get her over here. It's still early. It's 11:45 a.m. We've been live for a while here now. So they come in and then they leave. Let's see. They won't stay. I get in trouble sometimes thinking I know what my wife tells me. I tell my wife, because before I came here, I studied Tagalog, basically Filipino Tagalog. And my wife's native language, Jay, Lola Jane, I don't know where she gets that. Lola means grandmother, I guess. You're a grandmother? Yeah, I think I knew that. I'm not sure. Stop on over you want us to come and get you? We can drive over there and grab you if you want. Yeah, we'll eat lunch. We can go get you. We have a car. We can stop by. Norma only wants to go if someone's with us to help her, but if she's going to stay in the car, I'll just tell her. Call her up. Give her a call. Call her right now. She's in the other room watching, talking to somebody else. Talking. I think she's talking to Ernie. So she's not watching my live stream. It's no big deal, but you don't. I don't go live to see zero on the viewers. I want to see a number there. My wife calls me daddy. They call me sir, but my wife calls me honey or hun. It's always honey or hun. She won't call me. If she calls me Jason, I know she's mocking me. Or Jay. J Mike is the first syllable of my first and last name. That's where J Mike comes from. Let's eat lunch. We have good lunch. We have a good lunch, Jay. We have adobo. I think we have adobo. Oh, I know we have adobo, but I think that's what we're gonna have for lunch. You never know. She calls me Tatai. I'm young enough to be her friend. Don't be friends with women, guys. It doesn't work. You always hear guys say that. Oh, I'm her friend. No, you're not. You're waiting. No, I don't want to go there. You're waiting for more, though, is what I'll say. Yummy adobo. Yep, Melba cooked a big batch of adobo last night. We didn't eat much of it, though, so it's all there. It's all ready to have for lunch. We just had a bite. Because it was late, and I didn't want to eat too much. We were shutting down. I've been here over 1,000 days. It's 4.5 years, so 3 years is 1,000 days, right? So we've watched over 1,000 movies since I've been here. Free, all free. You don't have to pay for movies. People pay for movies because they want to see the latest release. Like, what's the latest movie that just came out? We'll pay whatever. I don't even know how much it costs. $10, $15 for it. You're throwing your money away. You're throwing your money away. Americans do that because they think that there's an endless stream of money, and it's not true. My wife planted a big garden. She works it every day. Yeah, we grow trees, and the trees produce fruit and peppers and little, like calamansi, the little limes. It gives us a lot, but it only blooms once a year. And then we have mango. We have two types of mangoes. I'm trying to grow an orange tree, but something, I think a caterpillar or something ate all the leaves, so it's struggling now. Some all in U.S. The U.S. is part of the big lie. Be careful with the U.S. They're lying thieves. And I don't mean everybody. I mean like the super majority of people are a lying thief in America. Men will be nice because they want sex. And they don't care who they talk to for it. They don't want to get to know you. They just want to get to know that it's okay to grab you. Just like Darren did. He's Canadian, but so am I. I was born in the U.S. I wasn't born in Canada, but my parents are Canadian. My mom's 90 and my father's gone. My dad died the same day Ronald Reagan in the United States. President Reagan died on the same day as my dad. That I will always remember. Norma, John said hello. John Balut said hello.
Hello, Dad, and love his wife.
Can you hear that? She said hello. They can't, there's no voice pickup that far away, hon. You gotta be right here. Wait, what? Tita miss you? Oh, miss you. Oh, that's the Filipinos' way of saying, I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. Jay, you want us to come over and pick you up? We can come over anytime. Oh, he did hear it. Oh, John heard you all the way from back there. Because if I play the guitar, the amp's right here. It won't pick up. I don't know why. I haven't figured. all the things I did on the live stream with my sound card, I can't figure out how to do that anymore. Either the mic and sound card are not working. That could be it too, or because the guitar used to feed back on the because it wasn't built for that type of pickup. But then I found a guitar pickup. It's all confusing because with Bluetooth things turn on and off and you don't realize it, so it gets confusing. She won't say. She keeps saying miss you, but she won't say if she wants us to pick her up. We're gonna make a date. Jay, we're coming over to pick you up. All right, you want to just confirm that? I got songs in my head. I can't put an end to it. It's like all the time. It's all unless I'm not thinking of it, but almost all the time there's a song in my head. And it's always there, and I always make up my own words for it. I know the words because I sing. The songs I can't find on my karaoke machine though too, like great songs. But maybe I shouldn't try to sing them. I always think I can do it, but that doesn't mean it's going to sound good. Busy, busy like a bee some other time. You've been saying that now for a year, Jay. That means you don't like us anymore. Taking my cousin's jet skis out for 4th of July. What lake are you riding them on? What lake is it? Where are you now? I don't even. John's all over the western part of the United States. I never know where he is. I never know. You don't need a big famous lake. You just need a little lake, right? That could be anywhere. Love you both, Paul. It's like when I talk to my mother, I say, I love you, Mom, but I know that I'm not going back to America to see her. Lake Sakawea, Newtown, North Dakota. It gets hot there in summer, right? So it gets extremely cold and snowy in winter, and then hot, really hot in summer, right? Lake Sakakawea. Now that's some Indian country up there, right? Native American. I don't like it when they make those compound word names for people. I don't think anybody likes it. African American. Elon Musk is African American, but nobody likes it that he's got money. But all the African Americans want money, except that they don't want that African American to have all the money. Why is that? Why do people have a problem with everything? Wow, nice jet ski. Yeah, jet skis are fun. When we went to Kalangaman, we rode jet skis. It was awesome. It's like we didn't have them like most of the day because we got there in like late morning. And we was hanging around. It's like nothing to do here except look around. And we did a walkabout. We did that, and then we came back to where everyone was on the beach. And I'm like, you know what? That's not too much money to rent the jet skis for a while. I think it's like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm like, let's do that. We'll get one or two. And it was a lot of fun. I didn't know how much fun that was going to be, but that was fun. Norma said, "Slow down." We almost threw ourselves off the jet skis. Like, hang on, because you go up and down on the waves, and it's like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I almost lost Norma and myself. I'm getting off now. Was it fun? Yeah. It was fun, though. Jet skis are fun. Oh, let's go back. It's so hard to get there, though. We had to fly to Tacloban in Leyte, and then we had to get a ride. It took a while to get the van to pick us up. But then we drove all the way across Leyte to get another boat to go to Kalangaman, and the boat took The boat was going 30 miles an hour. It took an hour to get there. So an hour there, an hour back. Because the boat's going about 30 miles an hour. So, no, wait a minute. Um, it's not 60, it's 30 miles. It took an hour. So we're going, I think it's 30 miles away. So I think it took an hour to get there. So for some reason, I'm not doing the math. Sacagawea, the Indian lady with baby on back with Lewis and Clark. Yeah. Sacagawea. So, yeah. Yeah, I've heard mention of the story, but people say history wasn't taught like that kind of like Black American history wasn't taught in school, in grammar school, and Native American history was. But that's not true. That's a lie. It was because I remember it. See, these are the people that don't remember their school lessons because they weren't paying attention. You can go to school and sit there and not pay attention, and then, years later you're saying, "Oh, nothing was taught in school. It was a waste of time." Not true. Not true. Now it did change. The theme changed where they just want to teach social justice. But whose social justice are you teaching? Sometimes you can have injustice and call it justice, and that and it ain't true. That's all I'm saying. I would say the problem back then was there was a language problem, but there was no organized state governments. That's the thing. So it wasn't really a federal government here. And that's really what happened. The the Europeans just wanted to start a government and be able to take it's just the way they were. And then, you know, whatever they had to do at all costs, they would do it to keep that going. That's, like in the Oklahoma territories and Dakota territories, they were territories at first. And they had, I forget what they called them, but they had people in charge as a governor. And they wanted everyone dead. America wants to put everyone in jail, and then there's a waiting time to be killed, and then there would be hanging. Everyone would hang. But not just, they wouldn't just hang the the natives that were there. They would also, if you stole any kind of farm animal, like a horse or cattle, the penalty was death by hanging. They hung everybody. And they didn't wait. There wasn't much waiting time. But they had to have a judge to say, yep, he's getting hung. And they did it all the time. That's kind of sad. I'm surprised anyone survived to get through it. But yeah, I remember the Lewis and Clark's. The Lewis and Clark lessons, that stands out loud and clear to me. That was the earliest invention of the backpack for baby. Yeah, because now everybody has one to carry their baby. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the tribe. I don't remember that. I forget the details, but yeah, I remember the Lewis and Clark lessons. That's Americana. Everyone that was there was a part of it. So, hour and 35 minutes. How much longer am I going to go, honey? We call each other honey. That's just the way it is. I never had an outline. If I did that, I wouldn't really get through much of it. It would be quick. That would just be the first 20 or 30 minutes. That's all that would be. And I got much else. I don't have much else. Oh, I got nothing. Daily life in Metro Manila. I forgot to put. Wait, what do I have? Oh, all right. All right, we'll see. We'll see how this goes later. Yeah, it's good to see everybody. If you came in, thanks for coming in, guys. It's good to see you all, John and Jay and Len Whistler, everybody. A few others. There's been a few people here. Thanks for stepping in. I don't announce when I'm gonna go live. I decided at 9, I don't know, 9 o'clock that I was gonna go live, and then when did I made the live stream about after 9:30, so and then I went live at 10:25. That's all the notice I gave. That's all I do. That's it. It's not a big production. It's good to see all of you guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna say goodbye. As soon as I do, I'll say, "Oh, I should have said this and that." I'll save it for next time. See you later, guys. Bye.